This isn't a video where I tell you about financial mistakes such as not having a budget or getting coffee every day from your favorite coffee shop. This video is about the financial mistakes that sometimes don't look like mistakes at all, but over time can slowly undo progress even when your income is good. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. The very first mistake that I'd like to discuss is funding tax advantage accounts but not investing said funds. I've lost count of how many times I've heard people say, "Oh, I didn't know that I was supposed to invest the money in my 401k or Roth IRA or HSA." It's not enough to just put money into those accounts. You need to invest the money that is in those accounts. The second thing is not utilizing insurance because it feels optional. This could be health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, or any kind of insurance that's relevant to your stage of life. If you think that insurance is optional, I just want you to know that sometimes you might be one accident, one illness, or one lawsuit away from having your savings completely wiped out, or worse still, being plunged into lifelong debt. The third mistake that I've heard many people make over and over again is waiting to invest until one, you make more money, or until you feel ready to do so. Even if you only have $100, you can start investing. If you're wondering how, check out my other video linked on the screen about how to invest your first $100 or $1,000 as a beginner. I'd like to emphasize that the best part about investing is the compound interest that you get over the years. So start now, start where you are. Don't wait until you feel like you're ready or until you have more money. The fourth very common mistake is trying to time the market. You're waiting to see when is going to be the best time to buy that stock or buy that ETF or whatever investment tool it is that you're interested in exploring. Timing the market is an absolute waste of your time. Just remember that time in the market beats timing the market anytime, any day. So just stop trying to time the market. The fifth mistake that I see a lot of people make is just holding on to too much cash just in case. Yes, cash is king. Cash will always be king, but you really don't need to have 2 years worth of your living expenses sitting in a bank account somewhere just in case. And I understand where this comes from. It's an emotional thing because money is as emotional as it is financial. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved, you don't need all of that cash, especially if you're not saving towards a specific goal. So, of course, it's very different if you're saving for a down payment for a house, saving for a big project, saving towards travel or a specific goal. That's very different. Here, I'm talking about people who just have an emotional attachment to having cash at all times. If you feel like 6 months of living expenses is still not safe enough for you, you can go up to 12 months. You don't need more than 12 months of your living expenses in cash at any time. Because think about it. Inflation silently erodes your purchasing power while you're there feeling like you're doing something right because you're being conservative with your money. If you found any value in this video so far, you're enjoying it, please hit that like button. It really does help the channel. Staying on the topic of cash, the sixth mistake that I see a lot of people make is holding your cash in a regular bank account. So your regular checking or savings account from insert random bank of your choice doesn't really pay you any significant interest. These accounts typically pay less than 0.5% interest on your money. Now, there's something else called a high yield savings account. These are savings accounts that pay you interest ranging from 3.5 to 5% depending on interest rates and how the economy is doing. So the emergency funds that you have do not need to live in your regular checking or savings account. You're literally leaving money on the table. Move that money to a high yield savings account so that your money can make money for you. The seventh financial mistake that I see people make is confusing income with wealth. You'd be surprised that even people who earn over six figures sometimes do not have their finances in order, sometimes are not considered wealthy. Heck, they don't even feel wealthy themselves. Income is not the same thing as wealth. And of course, this also applies to individual relationships or like human interaction. Just because you know that a person earns a high income or a high salary doesn't necessarily mean that they're wealthy. Wealth exists in the difference between what you earn and what you spend. So if you're a high income earner who is also a high spender, you literally have nothing to show for it. You are not wealthy. The eighth mistake that I see people make is not increasing their contributions as their income increases. So here's what I mean. If you get a raise, you get a bump in your income, either by switching jobs or switching industries by whatever means, and the first thing you do is spending that increase on a lifestyle change instead of on your savings or investments, that's a huge mistake. So, for example, a person who earns $120,000 but only puts aside 5% of their income towards their savings and the investment often ends up being worse off in the long term than a person who earns exactly half of that, so $60,000, but contributes 15% of their income towards their savings or investments. The ninth mistake is buying depreciating assets too early. So these are your new flashy cars, the luxury upgrades, the latest tech, etc. Buying all of these things before your net worth can catch up or can support them. I'm not saying you never need to have any of the good things of life, but you just need to have your priorities in order. Rich people buy assets first, then rewards. Poor people reverse the order. The final mistake that I'm going to cover is not understanding or ignoring your employer benefits if you're underpaid employment. These benefits could be things like skipping out or not maximizing your 401k matches. It could be not rolling over your 401k when you move companies, not utilizing your HSAs or all the other free or tax advantaged accounts or money that people never claim. You literally just leave money on the table because you're ignoring your benefits or you don't understand them. So, if you're underpaid employment, I encourage you to go explore your employer benefits. Make sure that you understand what you're entitled to and that you're utilizing everything to its full potential. Let me know in the comments below which of these points you didn't even realize was a financial mistake and you're now committed to changing. If you like thoughtful conversations about money, growth, personal finance, and just figuring things out without all of the extra pressure, you will feel at home here. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and join the growing community. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.